what's up? Welcome, everybody. You hanging with that handsome gentleman over here?
That handsome gentleman over there.
And we're sitting on the Kalo couch.
Yeah. We're on the couch. We're going to start one podcast talking about Kalo on the couch. We're going to call him Kalo culture. Today is Thursday. We usually get Thursday Kui days up at the Kaulu Farm School. It's where you have the opportunity to come in and feed yourself. Yeah, some of the food and products that come from the various stuffs that we're doing to help feed the community and get pono, organic, righteous food for you and your family in your na'au. Because what is time? Na'au is time, man.
Saw that new one. Knowledge.
Oh, I like that one. I like that one.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yep.
Is it in the mail?
No. Yeah.
Because I take one large.
I was just about to say large. On top of talking about taro, we're gonna give a recap of kind of what we did in the last week, because we had an interesting week, didn't we?
Yeah, great week.
Maybe some highlights of the week as far as taro production this week, because there's a lot of taro pulling.
A lot of taro pulling. Yeah. This week we was able to pull about 150 pounds. 100 pounds came from the raised bed that we have, the raised bed style planting that we have at Mokulua Builders down in Waimanalo at Uncle Mike's place, with the sheep as the awesome weeders. And we have some taro that was able to pull off from Ohana that was planted in the midst of all the COVID. You know, Uncle Kaue get plenty of things I plant taro for is special. Always one moon, but special. Like today's planting was, you know, we get heavy hearts, and you know, shout out to the Wang Ohana who lift you up, and your mo'okuauhau and all your children and everybody attached to the Ohana, because we all get different stories and how we love. And first and foremost, we're all kanakas. We're all kanaka. I mean, we're all man. And worldwide, we've been through crazy stuff, and we are the, you know, survivors of the survivors of the survivors that we gonna give way and give birth and survive for that we live. And this Kalo culture is really focused about talking about, there's kind of don't have any more time, you know, for niceties. This is the first time we talk about this, but you know, emergency. It's kind of an emergency, guys, for you know, ho'omana our bodies and our children's bodies, and get positive, awesome kupuna microbes inside you, and feed you food that is organically grown on with no pest. You guys heard it. Talk about it. How many times we're gonna say it about where your food come from, who grow your food, know your farmer 3 times a day. You need one farmer. We cannot eat money. Yeah. That's the Kalo culture topic. Kind of get heavy hearts, and today's planting was in honor of the family. And 50 pounds came out of this week from crazy stuff that was happening last year about the same time. Mauna Kea, everything was kind of was crazy.
So right now we're harvesting like 12-month taros.
12-month taro in the wetland.
In Kahana.
Yeah, 12 months.
So more pu'e, subterranean, irrigated in Kahana, and then sprinkler irrigation in Waimanalo. Mm-hmm. In addition to pulling Kalo, there was huli this week.
Huli. Tremendous amount of huli. Oh, I had some huli. Went to the Big Island yesterday. Ohana is now Barajaja.
In fact, last week, this past Friday, there was a plant sale in Nanakuli.
Oh, yeah.
And it distributed, you know, we got to keep track of the count of this, but it must have been 400 or 500. It was a huge bag of huli.
I've seen the bag.
So we got about 400 or 500 huli went out to the west side, and I think 40 or 50 ulu trees.
But shout out to Kyo and Nani guys out there, all of the Ohana out there.
Yep, Makayo.
Love Makayo.
Makayo, good job,
I don't know
bro.
everybody's name. Call them mine, guys. I don't know.
And all the people that got huli or got ulu that are planted, you know, to kind of touch up on what Kaue is talking about, there's a lot of sacrifice that we're all experiencing and going through. And one of the great ways to express that is through planting, is through clearing land, is a healthy way to deal with loss. And a way to remember, you know, people through and by. A few years ago, we lost the kupuna here in Kahalu'u, Anakala, Uncle Eldine, Kukahiko. And, you know, for me personally, I took one huli and planted it and envisioned a field of kalo that eventually became kahana. And we pulled our first 10,000 hulis off of what originally was one huli and not that much time in the replanting. And now how much lihi-lihi do we have and how widespread is that lihi-lihi? And, you know, it's
tremendous, man.
I see the lihi-lihi and I see Uncle Eldine together for me personally. And when we commemorate people through planting, they are able to sustain us well past their physical presence. And it's that spiritual presence and that physical remembering, you know. Next year at this time, we're going to be eating taro from this patch. You know, and hopefully in a few years, we'll be eating some ulu.
And the hulis that come from the kalo.
Yep.
Like, there's not just one lihi-lihi. This is the lihi-lihi. That was the mo'okuauhau of the Uncle Aldino that came from Jaja. That all kind. And that's one thing I love about the Kalo and Kalo P and Kalonomics, whatever you like call them, Kaloitis, is you cannot get out of the remembering and the need of knowing and talking about mo'okuauhau and ohana and oha and family and the crazy thing that get taro to grow nowadays. That somebody had somebody may take care of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we all know if you're growing taro today, somebody yesterday and last year and last generation had to have been growing that taro for you to have.
Yes.
And if you come from a family that hasn't stopped growing taro, please don't stop. That's so critical and important that we focus on recognizing those folks out there that are holding down traditional lands and water usage and consumption. I think those are important.
Yeah. Super huge is the amount of people who I believe get land. Yeah, the land is available and the water is available. Just that the huge mountain to climb to clear land and get to the point where you're eating food off the aina is kind of a nuts deal, you guys, and you cannot do them on your own. You need kokua. Yeah, and please call. I mean,
hey, call him, not me. I got enough calls.
Yeah, call. Like, you gotta, come up with one. Or already have them. The networks and the hui already exists. Yeah. All of kupunas, plenty of them not around anymore. But that don't mean that the hui kalo and the hui, that don't mean we gotta be there. We can just be on hui of kalo farmers. We just call ourselves. No need titles, no need itis. Just we're a bunch of a family that we committed to Haloa. Yeah, not kanaka. We committed to Haloa, and the forever gonna get Haloa as long as we get us guys kanaka. And that's not the we're trying to find a way, for.
No, Uncle, let's touch bases on this real quick, talking about that, because I think that it's important. I think people forget about the medicinal value of poi consumption as your staple. Yeah, and not just the poi, but the luau. Yeah, and how that impacts both your cultural practice and your olakino, your body health. Yeah, and if you're participating in the growing of both of those, what are the other benefits that are received in it? You know, right now in the current pandemic crisis, they're saying sunshine is important. Well,
Sunshine.
farming taro, you spend a lot of time in the sunshine. Hopefully, taro is planted in open space. Earth microbes, root microbes, indigenous microbes, probiotics, beneficial microbes. You know, the aina, akua. Those are part of the prescription. It's not just the poi eating that's the cure, but in the poi eating, right? This is important. I think this is the kind of thing that I want people out there to simmer on this. Yeah, when you take a medicine, any kind of medicine, your body has to absorb it. By simply taking that medicine and eating poi, it takes longer to digest in your body. Your body's able to absorb more quickly just by pairing it with poi. So not only is the poi a medicine to keep you healthy, but if you have to take any kind of medicine, pairing it with poi, and I want to just drive the fact that as far as a culture and a healthy people, part of this Kalo culture is to really kind of re-engage the idea of what staple food eating is really like. Yeah, I mean, we preach this, Uncle Kau. We preach this. How long we've been talking about the importance of eating from the aina and eating poi, and how many people actually do it. I mean, one of my favorite examples right now, because he happens to be around, and I hate talking behind people's back, but this guy, Kaneohe. Yeah, I talk about the poi. He come down, we wrap the poi. Turning point for him, when he goes to Las Vegas, and he brings his bag of poi with him. And he in the desert. And I don't know, I guess he might have had his oasis in his bag over there, but he came back, he was a changed man. And I don't know how to help people have that experience. Sometimes you got to go away to really see and understand the benefits and the impacts of it. For me personally, I know that my recovery time as I get older, the stuff that we do is more impactful on me physically. Like holding on to that grind of carving stones, or ooing all day, or chainsawing. You notice me now, I use the small chainsaw, and I use the big one, right?
The healing take little slow.
The poi, for me, consumption helps my recovery increase. So I can just be, I'm not a super me, but I can just be a regular me many days longer. Usually trying to keep up with a regular Uncle Kau over there who...
No way. Yeah, the thing gives. Now you can see the beneficial thing. The beneficial, you can see them. You can see when Haloa grab people in the na'au.
The thing about it is, sometimes from the outside we can see, but how does that person experiencing it see it? And how do we make it more accessible other than grow your own? I mean, that's the real cure, right?
Sure.
The cure is not buy taro and poi from us guys or anybody. It's to make it in your own household, have your own relationship, which incurs a greater challenge in our community. Where's this land and this water?
It's like that auntie I was talking to in the neighborhood. Yeah, she said that's not my particular thing that I passionate about doing Hawaiian things. Yeah. And but I 100% support you as one facet of our community, boy. Please, right? It's like, auntie, you thinking about having poi day in our community? We want Hawaiian homes. Hello, how you feel about that? I just wanted some side before I go talk to everybody. Yeah, and that's the honesty. You always talk about the facets of the diamond, bruh. Yeah, and not everybody gonna be everything. You know what I mean?
Uncle Kau, I wonder about this though. I wonder what would happen if you survey the kupuna, you survey the makua, and you survey the keiki. If the answer that you would get from those 3 generations would be the same in percentage.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I would encourage it. Probably more kids would be interested.
Yeah.
Just my thought. And the kupunas would want to eat it. If we just said, hey, kupuna, are you interested in eating fresh point made in your community every week?
Yes.
Sign me up.
That was worried about how are you guys gonna do it? No worry. I never asked you that.
Well, I think the idea would be, right? And this is more social cures. You know, right now most of us we just fighting for keep our families healthy.
Yeah.
But the social cure is providing the service for people to not have to have a pressure cooker, a papa, a pohaku, a clean space, ozone generator. I mean, all of those things, right? This little idea of a hale ku'i, of having a place to ku'i.
I've heard requests from the community out there about like things that have slowed down or stopped. And but ultimately, the reason why the program went stopped that was giving to the community, it's not because no more money. It's because no more I.
Never have taro.
The thing never have the regular, you can count on that bugger because it was designated for this community or came from the community, was always coming from outside to feed the community. And then when that stopped, the program stopped that was getting people stock on the eye. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Well, it's kind of hand in hand. What your community has is a full-time taro farmer in that community. Now, how does that benefit that Native Hawaiian community? I think that's the question that hasn't been answered yet. I don't think the opportunity to really propose the benefit is, but I would think in a perfect world.
Like, hey, by the way, you guys get one full-time farmer that lives in us that can provide the community this one, if not free, when inexpensive.
I mean, I would think that the Homestead as an association, a Hawaiian Homestead as an association, would guarantee purchasing X amount of pounds of taro a week.
You just gave me an idea, but identify the individuals in the community who want to pursue on farming, because like it was the same. Not everybody like can farm about.
Yep.
And then you can come stand by me. Not everybody like do what I was doing, man. Junk.
I think you have to do it for a while before you find out if you like it. It's like every other occupation.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta maybe spend some time doing some other stuff to come back and appreciate.
Ah, shit, I think so. The thing about that one particular thing is you make a mistake, you cut your leg off.
Well, fortunately, there's not too many one-legged kanakas out there. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real. Identify the kanakas in the community. Like, why? What you doing? I see him walking by, planning.
Yeah.
You know what
I think that's the idea, Kyle. Identify the kanakas, and then it sucks for you, but looks like you probably got to get a minivan.
No,
so.
Also, why, Auntie? You guys would like, you know how we pay for the we get this fee that we gotta pay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We pay for Kalo farmer
fee. Yep.
Would you pay an extra $10 a month for have one Kalo farmer work for you and you get unlimited? Well, you get food.
Well, I think it's sillier.
It
It's sillier than that, Kyle. It's basically they contribute to support the farmer to have access to buy it. Like that $10 a month that they put in is just the kitty to have access, like the Costco membership, right?
To have the food in there.
To have access to it. That doesn't mean that you got it, but that means that it's available and that you're supporting its availability.
Yes.
This is something that, you know what, I think you've hit the nail on the head, yeah, with how to transform the Hawaiian homestead communities into taro supporting communities is just to include a taro farmer, a mahi'ai, you know, and I would think how you would make it smart, Kyle, how you would make it smart is, and it has, I'm thinking somehow, like this thing with all of this homestead and this little nominal fee a month that they put into it is like it will guarantee a loan for taro farmers, low interest. right? Somehow create on mechanism
Alright.
so that, you know,
Can go to the bank and be like, yo, look.
yeah.
Because the bank, like, no, pretty simple.
Yeah.
If I give you, how you gonna pay me back point?
No, basically this group would back the farmers in the community and would help to establish those that wanted to really look at agriculture
Right.
as just the way. I mean, this is the, I tell you what, this is the reality of now. Your dad wasn't taro farmer.
No.
Okay, so your dad wasn't one taro farmer. How long has it taken you to get to the point to where you at?
My life.
Okay, so we're looking at 40 years now to get to this place. Now, would you happen to say that in farming taro and this knowledge, right? This is like one, every time we talk about one variety, look like this variety, but not that variety, we realize, shit, we was on the wrong variety to begin with, right? Like there's so much knowledge in this that if it wasn't passed on, like how do you begin this, right? It takes a crazy amount of challenges and failures, right? And if you're not in a position to, I mean, how do you put yourself in a position to even have this opportunity if it wasn't already passed down from your family?
To have one choice.
Like, you know?
Like, bruh, Kalo school.
I mean, obviously we need a Kalo school.
Kalo school.
We need community education. We need access to all those things. But then how do people even know that that's something that they want to participate in? We got to get the word out.
We gotta
Say,
go touch them. And like the other day, yeah, this is on Manini Kia. Check it out. But I've been to that, right? You've been to the taro tasting and with all of varieties. That's killer.
Yeah.
It's killer. More of that kind of stuff.
You know what, Kalo? That's an awesome formula. You do the presentation at the homestead with one Kalo tasting.
Yeah, free.
Yeah.
Just come out, you guys. Oh, I never even know how yellow taro.
Yeah.
Look, it's 7. Forget them all. That'd be cool. Hanaiwan patch.
Now, you know, your wife is going to kill us if we think of doing something in Princess Kahanu, but you know what I'm saying? That would be the obvious choice. You live there. You guys, this is another just challenge in life. You know, we're at a point where, and this is the reality, we don't necessarily trust our neighbor, nor our neighbor have confidence in our neighbor, even though we may be in a neighborhood of people in a similar situation. Cultural values, all of these things be similar, but we've through time got to not to have to rely on each other. Yeah. And as we move into a period of really identifying that one of the solutions to our problems is not only self-reliance, but, you know, Kaue, without us relying on each other, we wouldn't have been able to achieve the kind of crazy stuff we pulled off in this last year.
Doing that kind
right?
Of stuff. Like my neighbor keeps getting food, right? And then he keeps bringing food back. Because he make smoked meat. Yeah, they do their thing. Yeah. And then we trade. Fine. I think that's, and then we build a relationship.
2021 in the Hawaiian homestead. Get the taro farmer trading taro with the neighbor making the smoked meat.
Yep.
So that right there is like the perfect model of the why we need it and how it works. Yeah. 2 neighbors complementing each other.
Yeah.
How does that get reinforced in more communities? Like, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, like, how do we have a get to know your neighbor day?
Crazy, bro.
And some kind of stupid social things that we can put out there in the community that are fun, that encourage people to go out there and just maybe say hi in a positive, you know,
crazy
format.
I remember we were talking about like silly kinds of stuff like shame and like how that's correlated with, you know, in a negative, when people scrapping, everybody just mind their own business, right? Or we're not even allowed for entrepreneur in our neighborhood. You know what I mean? The kids cannot even self-shave ice or ice cake. They cannot do that. They're not allowed to. Yeah, the bylaws say
it's the association rules.
Do that.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You cannot run one repair shop from our garage, even though you're badass and that's your passion and you're good at it. And you get hard time socially, you cannot go get one job, you know what I mean? But you awesome at that. Like, you know? Like great mankind.
So wait, our Kalo pounding thing that we was doing was technically illegal in the homestead. Because we were selling taro to people in the
Wasn't selling,
community.
remember, we was asking for donation.
See, he wasn't selling paia. Me, I was straight black market slanging on like, whole cuz. You know, buy some paia, you know, kind. Boom, a guy running around in a malo pounding Kalo. Yeah.
Before we eat, hey, bruh, Uncle Carl just went whap out like 40 pounds, bruh. Yes, us.
Bro, that was the wild, wild west days.
The bus turned left by my house. Bus driver! Oh, he stopped. You know the guy is some paia from my house to the bus driver passing. Both of them. This fucker, they stopped after
Wow.
they stopped doing that.
So that's crazy. So the homesteads are no economic zones for Native Hawaiians.
And
So
they don't let you grow fruit trees. No fowl, which would include chickens that lay eggs. But you can have a squawking fucking parrot that make noise all day, all night.
and of course dogs. What about one pig? One single pig.
That's supposed to have the kind of bite kind dog.
What kind of dog is there in Waianae?
My dog, you know why?
Yeah, because it's a puppy. You wait till the thing big. Dangerous. Dangerous. Well, back on the topic of Kalo, Uncle, and Huli. So, taro need water, need nutrients. Some of the things that we've been experiencing in the last year and a half is the people's need for local, organic fertilizers.
Food for the food.
I notice your beautiful suspenders is blocking our Aloha organic solutions here.
Cold, bro.
But for a few minutes, let's tie into this some of the fertilizers that we make, and encourage people to do some research on food waste, green yard waste, how to break those down more effectively and efficiently. I mean, you can cheat and you can go to alohaorganic.org and find all of this information, or you could just go to any one of your favorite search engines and go through piles of YouTube videos.
Go get as much information as you can. Ask
Yes.
Second and third, recommendations. Yeah, like one doctor tell you you're sick, you get another recommendation. With multiple eyes, makavalu, so you get a clear understanding.
And then find a way to make soil, right?
Soil.
Because planting taro is about healthy soils. Healthy soils you can make with waste, but you need to build biomass. I need to add diversity.
And microbe diversity, yeah.
So there's many different ways to do it. Don't be shy about how you do it, but make sure that you're doing it, because otherwise the effort that you put into planting isn't rewarded.
Yeah.
And what we found is the hardest part of any type of agriculture endeavor is to put a lot of effort in and to not get the results that you expected.
Yeah, guys, that can be real heartbreaking and sometimes like break you, especially toiling so hard and then right at the very end, or anything, and anything can happen, but to experience that heartbreak can be breaking sometimes, and we'd like you to be encouraged that there's ways to feed your food. There was never an option before that was available to our kupuna. Yeah, that's why they were stuck on fertilizers. That was what had. Now you have an option though, something that's organic, something that locally made, locally sourced, something that we make.
And it's also duplicatable by you. I mean, our goal is to addict the world to natural farming, 1 3-ounce bottle at a time.
Yeah.
And
imagine that. A goal is to kind of go out of business because everybody's making their own and they're not buying them from us anymore because everybody's a Korean natural farm expert. Everybody is trying to regenerate the earth and the Mama Island that we live on for the next generation and those that have yet to come. It's so important, guys. It's so important.
So we're in year 3 in Kahana. We're getting the best taro ever from Kahana.
Ever. Skylar's been the reason, because we had the before examples of taro and wasn't as
So in 3 years, we've gotten and we've made, I don't know if we made the soil better. The soil was awesome.
Yeah.
But it needed to be dried out, leveled.
Treated on a daily basis with Aloha Organics. And depending on the root, I mean, all kind of things dependent. I mean, and
Today, what, 6 pound taro was the biggest taro?
6 pounds. Yeah. And it's awesome because he knows when to put the calphos versus the water soluble calcium, and then it's so much magic going on in the fields, and depending on their age and their growth cycle, what you're gonna put, and we get that on the chart.
Yep. So that was our Korean Natural Farming Minute, Indigenous Microbes. Check out alohaorganic.org. If you need huli, we have access to more huli. We're excited to share huli. In fact, last month, we helped a couple guys plant, sent a couple thousand out to the outer islands.
500 or so, yeah.
So for all you outer island guys, let us know. If you're willing to come to Oahu, we can huli hunt. Look for different kinds of varieties that you might be interested in. We really like to focus on Hawaiian varieties. I'm not going to lie though. We got a bunch of palehua mixed into some of it. So
Yeah, we do like to promote as much, growing of Haloa as possible, everywhere, anywhere, as much as can, because all of the things that go with the growing of taro, yeah, you need land, and that land needs fresh running water or access to it. Yeah, that means need more kanaka to farm the land, and it all intertwined. Yeah, I like to talk about the movie, bro, the Kiss the Ground and the plastic fungi. You guys didn't watch that movies? Those two are on Netflix. Please, take the time to go watch these well made and inspirational mini movies that we both watched, and it's been inspirational and like kind of crazy because almost like an affirmation of what we just
our kids actually watched it.
The kids love it, and they inspire to save the earth because there is a way. Yeah, and if one other thing I wanted to touch on is your example is. If you was inspired last year and you did cut open all of this aina, or you need help opening, and now you're ready for what you feel is a silly amount of huli,
yeah, reach out to us.
Ask. No be scared.
Yeah.
Ask for 1,000, 25, 5,000.
Yes.
We will go work and go get it to you. Yeah, and not the kind. Not
nice
the
kind,
we
big hulis.
Off with this ones is the ones that is the one you like. Yeah, we just get one preponderance of it with not enough land to plant it.
What a crazy problem to have. Kaue has more huli than he can plant, and he is one of those ADHD huli planters where every huli has to get planted, even to the point when he drives his partner sometimes crazy, and then how the planting is. But no complaints when we eating taro. But the craziest, most not one huli ever left behind. And so, well,
yeah.
in addition to people wanting access to more huli, we are looking for regular committed volunteers that want to help come and cut out taro patches in Kahana Valley, want to help us move logs. As far as on the chainsawing, we're good on the chainsawing, but we need help moving logs and really digging ditches.
Seriously, on the same token, like guys, like if you live in an apartment or you no more access to land, which is everybody's problem, reach out. Like we want families to come and take care of the thing that we can build together and share in the production and in the eating of food. You just build your own. You take care of them. You eat it. At the end of the 12 months, 11 months, you can constantly eat luau the whole time. At the end of 10 months, it's all your taro. But we collectively, if you open up on Square and your neighbor open up on Square, because you live in an apartment, right? So if you get all you guys open up on Square, that means you get 700 more squares open. With 700 more families all doing the same thing, all in the production of food and all in the carrying of land and all of the resources, because it's all intertwined with a river puka out. That's super important into the food in the ocean that provide food for us also. Yeah. The kai too.
You know, the reality, folks, is that if you want to manifest more food grown by your hands, you have to be willing to invest at least 3 years. Like, you have to recognize that it takes a little bit of time to build a relationship and to see what success and failures are and to transition. You need to see the opportunity and how you can impact soil building. A lot of it just through common sense, gravity. Get introduced to permaculture. Get introduced to, you know, some of the different design formulas to manage resources. A lot of it is honestly observation. Agriculture isn't something you can necessarily teach, but something that you have to learn. So you have to, you know, if you can commit 1 day a month, 3 to 5 years, we can help you become someone that is able to genuinely get food on a regular basis that they grew. If you're willing to show up 1 day a week, definitely in 3 years, you will have more food than you know what to do with. Yes, guess what? That's 150 days over 3 years that you'd have to commit to being in the process of kalo production. But the reality is that the experiences, that's what we get every day when we participate in this. And, you know, even to the extent of how we now, you know, in our dryland system, we scrape every single taro after it's been harvested. Before it even goes in the freezer or before it's even cooked, the entire outside is scraped. And the different color diversity on taros, we're constantly seeing in relationship to where it and how it's grown. I mean, there's such little nuances that it's never ending, the education that taro has as a teacher. But in order for you to get to the place where you can actually communicate with this teacher, it takes an investment of time. So everyone that's excited to participate, we love your excitement, but we're really excited when you want to commit to, you know, putting in regular time. That's really what the movement needs. It's great to have, you know, those once a year weekend warriors, but it's also kind of a drawback for Kaue and I because we got to say the same thing every weekend. And the idea is that we would get to the point where we don't have to say anything because you are capable of hosting a community work day on the Aina. And we can begin to see more people in our community evolve to have the capabilities to go just beyond being able to keep themselves busy, but to keep another small group of people in their community. Because the thing that we notice is through doing it, like, you don't know what you know until you got to teach it. Right. And then when you got to teach it, you're like, oh my God, I don't know this. And it puts you in a whole new course of self-learning. So, you know, as we sit here on the Kalo Coauch, we want to make sure to extend out to everybody in the community that is pondering how to participate, that there's so many different entry points. What, Kalo, are we going to do another 5G Kalo challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah, when do we want to do that?
That was important. There was a lot of feedback on the ability for the same people we're talking about, those of you guys who live in apartments that you're not actually attached to the Aina. You get the ability as long as you, and that's what I wanted to talk about. If we're going to talk about anything, first and foremost, is that whole relationship. It's hard to describe, but it's the relationship that you have with this plant that's growing, and it depends on you 100%. It depends on you to feed it. It depends on you to give it nourishment, just like when baby. The only other thing that it can't control is the need for sun, which you also control of. But that's why we talk about no gotta be Aloha Organics, but natural farming, permaculture kind of information. Yeah, microbes. The breaking down of the old to become new is super important, and the relationship that all has to do with the caring of this plant too, especially the dying and the regeneration. That's the topic there.
Carl, so on Monday I got to steal some taros from your Waimanalo variety patch with some students. Yeah. And the primary taros that we harvested was the manas, mana opelu, mana ulu, there was a mana ele. These were all 5-month taros. So in the manas, we're at 5 months, which is amazing to think in that short amount of time, the Kalo was able to produce enough energy. Maybe with this next 5G challenge, we'll do it with manas.
It can be easier.
Yeah.
And shorter term.
Cause we get plenty mana opelu down in.
Plenty. Sure. Every one of those, they all get families. Everyone in the bucket, they all get like 50 more stuck to them. It just took number one.
I don't know. My brain is thinking how could we put together some type of campaign where we supply the mana opelu, access to the bucket with some soil inside of it, something with shem. We just got invited to start making and producing soil with shem and.
When is opelu season?
They kitchen opelu right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of more summertime, end of summer. We kind of maybe. I still see Uncle Bussum up catching opelus right now.
Yeah. Opelu with some mana opelu.
So let's leave this week's topic on the thought that we're gonna start a 90-day Haloa challenge, the 5G Kalo challenge. We're gonna get people to grow some of these manas. This is a great way to get our huli out. This is something that we could probably start.
No, yeah, we're gonna make a little competitive. Last time it was just for participating. People just getting randomly chosen for win. Like
no.
Mahalo for anybody who donated stuff, but that was awesome.
Kyle, I think this one we do a sign up. We do entry. You come pick up the hulis that you signed up for. Everybody grows the mana. And then we have, every 3 weeks.
Organics or not.
every 3 weeks we'll have a check-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Now people, we never know what we was doing the first time we did that. Like people get it now. I get it. I didn't even know what the hell we was doing the hashtag. I don't even understand hashtag.
See, guys, we're proving that you can teach old dogs new tricks. Figured out what hashtags were. We're doing a podcast. If you're watching this right now, you're checking out our Patreon. My name's Uncle Daniel. That's Uncle Kyle over there. We hope we're keeping it as real as possible. And just sharing a little glimpse into some of the everyday challenges that we experience farming in our community, community organizing, dealing with each other. Let me tell you, with our combined almost 90 years of age, actually combined we 90.
90, bro.
90. Bruh, we're two old guys. Two old farmers gonna be. Start bragging. We find the regular challenge of communication just between each other. We've been farming for 3 years. We still find a lot of great ways to piss each other off and to miscommunicate. Fortunately, our wives like each other. And so they force us to get together regularly and meet and try to make sure that we're able to fulfill our commitments to each other. Super important. I love you, Kaue. Freaking smashing it out there. If you guys out there, this is crazy, but 2021 was a no new friends year. So we're kind of excited about 2022. Maybe we'll be able to have some new friends and open up our circle and really look at how to build not just a community of taro eaters, but of people that are willing to spend time committed to the Aina. I think we need a 2022 program that is weekly or monthly work days with a very specific group of people that want to go somewhere with their knowledge of farming taro, want to be the custodians of huli for not just their generation, but for future generation. People that are seriously looking at how to have some legacy. Yeah? This is how to have legacy, to be the generation, to hold it for the next generation. And that's what the Army we're looking to build. And we're looking to be helpful in training and making sure that the land is accessible, but not just to people that want to just farm anything, but people that want to farm Kalo, people that want to do it organically, making their own nutrients. These are the people that we're calling out to. Like, I don't want to compete against a farmer's spring roundup. No. You're not going to farm by us.
If you guys get challenges with, if you're currently living on Aina that was just like Uncle's Aina, yeah? There is a way to remediate your Aina. Remediation is possible. Oh man, you guys gotta watch them. It's possible. Where once that was impossible to grow and eat food, now we're eating food. Period.
And we won't have to watch the movie. We can just go in the backyard over here, and after 70 years of chemical ag, there's taro growing, and we're eating out of it. And it's nutritious, and it's directly available, and it's directly through the interaction that we've had. Now, I know we didn't talk about a whole bunch of stuff, and we're gonna save that for a future podcast. Because remember, we gotta make sure that we got ammunition for the up and coming weeks. So maybe
Coauch. Huh?
Yeah, the Coauch. Welcome to the Coauch. Eh?
I love it.
I think we covered all the basic topics of tonight. Uncle El, what you think?
I think
We qualify it as a first round, or we what?
this is a good, this is a good first step.
Well, you guys, you saw the first step. I'm not sure if it was a misstep, a trip step, a leaf, a jump, but hey, we got it done. Uncle El, how many weeks have we been fishing to get it done?
This is our 4th weekend.
Hey, so we just proved that after 3 strikes, you're definitely not out. Yes, us making up our own rules as we go to not just survive, but thrive, to inspire people, make sure that we're having fun doing it right.
Yes. Definitely having fun.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sauce.
I am strictly loving, love is all that I can give. Never wanna do no wrong or spread no bad intention. Me not do it personal greed, me not do it no money thing. I am strictly do it for love, so love is all that I can give. Me no want no silly rabbits play them tricks on me. Babylon can come and disrupt this your frequency, cause Jaja is the owner who collects me royalties. I'd rather profit from this music to gain love and loyalty. See the walls of Babylon just keep on growing. Modernized development just keeps on going. Babylon them want them profit to keep on flowing, but we man want the island life to be easy going. Say we gain nothing from all of these city projects. All it does is create 5 to 20 years of traffic.